Forgiveness. We all know this word, right? Many people in this planet have an idea, a definition, a philosophy, a theory of what this word means, right? But very few people have an embodiment, a direct experience of what forgiveness looks like. Very few people. Some people say that you just say the words I forgive you and forgiveness has happened. But it actually doesn't work like this. This is only mentally, right? But you have to do it holistically in order to be done. So then there are people that say that people shouldn't be forgiven, right? Because if you forgive people, then you then take away from them the experience of them facing their own consequences of their own harm doing. And so because of them not facing the harmful consequences, they don't see what they have done, and so they remain like that, and so they remain destructive and unconscious, right? And there are people that say very religiously and spiritually, oh, everybody should be forgiven, right? So because I have forgiven, just like many people have done or tried, I have done it. I speak from embodiment, and so I will just explain to you what forgiveness means to me, what it looks like in my experience in my body. Okay? So, forgiveness. Forgiveness. Forgiving, giving forward, right? Not giving it backwards to the one that hurt me. And then he giving it back to me and I give it back, give it back, give it back, and then perpetuating this never-ending cycle of destruction, of war, right? We will never establish peace with war. It's impossible. The whole history on this planet is the proof of that. So the point is to resolve, because suffering is pointing to something in our life, to some disembodiment. This is all that suffering is. It's a reminder that there is something to be embodied, that there is some trauma to be faced. And so the point of life, in order for you to resolve the suffering, to stop suffering, and to manifest harmony, to evolve, the point how to do it is to now become a responsible human being, right? To become responsible, mature human being who doesn't anymore project and give back, but and perpetuates the cycle of destruction, but to end the cycle, to finally have this ability to respond to the moment as it is, and not just respond from a weakness and unconsciousness and disembodiment where you just throw it back because you're too weak to face it, but you actually take it and you prove power and resilience to yourself by accepting it and processing it within your experience, so these cycles can stop, right? So maturity, responsibility means embodying your power, right? By accepting the burden that was put in your life and transmuting it, transforming it into your gift. So forgiveness, giving forward, giving it away, leaving it behind, not giving it back, but leaving it behind, giving it forward, away from me, away from the situation. So forgiveness is just the end point of healing. Forgiveness is healing. So once you heal, you have forgiven. You don't actually do forgiveness. You heal, and because you have healed, you have forgiven. You have giving it truly away, forward, right? Away from the situation. As in now giving this gift forward to the society, the gift of love, the wisdom of transmuting the harm that was inflicted upon you, right? So forgiveness, giving forward, all you have to do is the healing, which is just shadow work, trauma work, which is actually just no matter what happened to you in this life, past lifetimes, how many times, for how long, no matter the story, the situation, what kind of trauma, whatever kind of trauma, mentally, physically, no matter what kind of trauma happened to you, the end result of all of the traumas, no matter the context, the end result, the ultimate effect that stayed with you is you now resisting yourself, you now being fearful of life, you now fearing the guidance of God, you now fearing the guidance of life force that's coming from the God. You fearing, you being resistant, you rejecting the life force that you are, that is coming from God. God is sending you life. Because of Him, you're alive. And He wants to be manifested through you into this life. And now you just fear that. This is all that trauma does. It makes you fear manifesting the most genuine energy expression of yourself every moment of life. This is all that trauma does. And so all you have to do is to start facing this fear, this rejection within, where you start finally becoming open to this life force, aligning with it, being in your feminine and manifesting it, being in your masculine, right? So already stepping in these steps of balance of masculine and feminine, and therefore in the future manifesting a balanced masculine and feminine self. This is the point. And in the process of manifesting that, you are doing it only through facing the fear of being like this, because you now have fear of being like this, being whole, right? This is all that trauma does. It makes you fear being whole. That's it. And so you now face being like this by living according to your intuition, being open to the most genuine and present energy and manifesting it. Expression of yourself and manifesting it, feeling it, speaking it, doing it, and in that stepping in the balanced steps, and in the process resolving the fear that trauma left of being like this. So this is how healing is done. Check one of my videos previous, I spoke about it in detail. This is what healing looks like, how it is done, and the end result of that is forgiveness. So forgiveness is for yourself, is to forgive yourself rejecting yourself. So to stop rejecting yourself, right? So forgiveness is healing. So forgiveness within, it's not for the other. Because if we forgive others, we actually are not doing good, because we are then we are just saying, oh, like nothing happened, everything is okay. And this person doesn't learn what they have done, right? If you just say, I forgive you, don't worry, then the person doing the harm, they don't ever see themselves for actually how they are, because they don't face the consequences, because we don't take them accountable for what they done. They don't become responsible for the consequences, so they don't see the effect of their own harm doing, right? So just saying, oh, you are forgiven, we actually allow them to remain destructive and harmful in this society. So forgiveness is for yourself, is within, but others we must take accountable for what they have done, responsible, in order for them to become mature. So these cycles of destruction stop and we can finally manifest a harmonious society, right? An evolved society where we can coexist because we are together on this planet, right? So forgiveness is not for others. For others, it's accountability. They have to forgive themselves. But how can they forgive themselves if they don't even recognize that they are doing the harm, because we forgive them and therefore take away from them their own facing of their own consequences, right? So we shouldn't forgive them because we take away from them their own facing of their own harmful doing of the consequences, and they never learn. They never become awake to what they are truly doing, what kind of effect they have. So forgiveness is not for the other. It is actually bad to forgive the other. Forgiveness is within for yourself. For the other, forgiveness is very bad. I have proven why. Because they actually have to forgive themselves, and they will only come to that if they are left with the consequences of their own harm doing. They are left with them, they are taken accountable. We force them to become responsible by punishing them, right? This is why we have justice system in this planet. It should work like this, being just, right? So people should be punished for what they do, and in that process of more pain, more suffering, they can actually see how they are, that they are actually being harmful and destructive, and finally start becoming awake to this fact and what drives them to be like that. And then at some stage recognizing within that they are actually resisting themselves, and because of this dissociation, rejection within, they are being guided by Satan and his demonic army himself, and being guided into destruction. So by allowing people to face the consequences of their own doing, we are allowing them to see how they actually are, so they can come actually to awake, embody, and resolve their own rejection that actually was guiding them into being destructive. So forgiveness is not for the other, it is destructive to forgive the other. You should only forgive yourself and allow other to suffer with what they have done, in order at some point for them to, through the suffering, realize that they need to forgive, so heal themselves, because only unhealed hurt people hurt other people. And this is the only way, by not forgiving others, for these people to finally at some point achieve forgiveness within. Because having your own experience of healing, nothing is more powerful than that. You cannot give this to anybody, but only you can give it to yourself. So people shouldn't be forgiven. We should all forgive ourselves, taking responsibility for our own doing, and just being an example of that. That's it. This is how it is done. This is why you should do it, because you're then being a gift to the planet and not a destruction to the planet. Somebody that finished the destructive cycles, truly being then a gift to society, bringing harmony, and not forgiving others, and therefore allowing them to experience the consequences of their doing, and allowing them through more suffering through tough love to come to awakening of what is actually driving them, and then realizing it's the hurt, and then doing the healing and forgiving within, and becoming the gift, receiving the gift of God. This is what healing means, and giving that gift forward. This is what forgiveness means. This is how it is done. It is the only way. Check one of my previous videos where I see that there is only one path to life. You will understand what I mean.